Welcome back, Peanuts fans. It's time for DeAgostini Box 9. I am creating this Snoopy's Doghouse full of Peanuts comic strip scenes, and these are a few of the scenes that I have already built. Inside this box, we have 4 issues and an extra issue, which is Snoopy the Astronaut, which is a premium upgrade. Here we have Charlie Brown in a cabinet. Here's the Snoopy Astronaut kit. Everything is included in this one. Then we have chairs. We have lots of little dishes and a box top. In issue 34, we are getting started on those chairs and finishing up Joe Cool. Here's a sample of the directions. We also have info on 5 and other info for the comic strip and comic strips. Issue 35 has the kitchen unit, a blender, and Charlie Brown, plus Jose Peterson. Then for 37, we do not have 36. We have the sideboard, fruit bowl, and other dishes, plus a look at Roy. Then for 38, we have a box top and a few more dishes. And Sophie. Let's get out the tools that we're going to need, plus the glues, and get number 34 open. Lots of pieces in this kit. Make sure you don't lose any of them. Let's start with the chairs. We've got the backs and the seats. Then we just have to cut out the little legs. I like to dry fit everything first to make sure things don't look wonky. Then glue everything in. 1 down, 2 more to go. I've got legs, and I'm not quite sure how to use them. Let's get those chair backs in. Next, these cereal bowls. Then we can finish up Joe Cool. He needs his LED light strips, which just stick down to the top of his box. Gotta get it in just the right spot in both the front and the back. Then a bit of cable management. Plugging it in, and then let's get this tested. Let's hope it works. Brilliant. And there it is in the dark, looking good. Moving on to 35, we have the cabinet and the blender, plus Charlie Brown with his sandwich. Let's get this cabinet started by getting all the pieces in place. Next up, the blender. Looking good. And all these pieces go on the back of the couch scene. Let's put the cabinet in place. And then all the chairs. These chairs are tricky to get into these holes, and they will be constantly popping out. However, I do not want to glue anything into place for this scene yet because we are missing scene 36 in the middle. Let's set up the scene with the figures. Charlie Brown just does not want to sit on his chair. According to the book, his feet should be flush with the front of the chair. However, looking at the actual figure on the chair, his feet are not flush with the edge. Let's try and get that table in there. It's not going quite right. This scene is very tight. The figures seem to not want to stay in quite the right place with the tablecloth in there. Let's put these bowls of cereal out on this puffy tablecloth. And it seems I put everything in the bag too early, but luckily everything came apart and we can set up the rest of the scene. Next, we're painting the salad, giving it a little bit more depth by adding some green paint that's been watered down. And then some yellow paint just to give it some highlights on the lettuce. On to 37 and all these tiny little pieces. Let's get these out on a tray. Next, I'll build a china cabinet and get these jars filled. Just going to make sure the jar fillings do not need a little bit of glue. However, the lids definitely need a spot of glue. And that bit of glue did not hold. Next, the fruit bowl. I love how the directions tell me not to glue everything together because I would really love to paint these things before gluing them together. And add in that china cabinet and all of our other little bits and bobs. We've got 3 bowls here, a pitcher and another bowl, plus all of these little plates on their stands. It is very tricky to put these in here. We'll just wing it for now. Let's get that extra plate. And everything's fallen off the table. Back to normal. Here is our scene so far. A little messy, but we'll resolve that someday when 36 comes. Next, number 38, we have a big box top, a couple of light strips and a circuit board, plus the teapot and the salt and pepper shakers. Let's get started on the box top and make sure we have the board in just the right way. And screw it down with the tiniest of screws. Then more LED lights. And we have a fancy light here for our cabinet. Just have to get it into place on the top of the cupboard. And plug everything in. Let's give it a test and see if everything works. Thank goodness it does. Time for some cable management, and this was the worst part of this box. Not only are there a lot of cables to manage, look at how badly this piece fits. It does not fit. It bubbles and does not stay in place. It was pretty terrible and very frustrating. And as you can see, it needs to be glued down so you can't see it from the front. So I tried to do that as best I could. It's a little messy, but it looks okay, I guess. Let's get that into place for now. Next, we have the teapot that needs to be put together. And we're adding color to the cereal bowls. So to make brown, I am using some yellow, red, and a hint of green. So I'm going to add a little bit of brown to give it some depth. And wipe it off the white bowl because of course I'm getting paint everywhere. And a little bit of yellow to add those highlights. before and after, and the final product. Next, the Premium Astronaut. We have the moon, all of the pieces for the box, the LEDs, circuit board, and finally the Snoopy Astronaut figure. And don't forget this clear post. Don't lose it. What was nice about this kit is I could just go through and put the whole box together, gluing the moon in place, getting those sidewalls in, getting those sidewalls in, getting those sidewalls in, and gluing it down. And then getting those sidewalls in yet again. Let's get the outside walls in. And screw those down. Putting the Snoopy figure into the background. He's actually kind of hovering over the moon. And of course, getting the box top put together with the circuit board, the LEDs, the cable management, and the testing. Let's hope he works. There he is, looking great. 100% done in one day, which is just perfect. I wish all of the scenes were like this. Thanks for joining us here today. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel because eventually box 10 will hopefully get here. Hopefully before box 11, but remains to be seen. And you can support this on Patreon and at CollectPeanuts.com. There are links in the description down below. Happy crafting, Peanuts fans! Bye!